QR codes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the QR codes.
So what is a QR code?
I thought you were in charge. You thought I was. It's like.
Well, that's teamwork. That just means that we're working well together because nobody knows who's in charge.
And no one's had chicken yet.
Oh, man, I'm so hungry. Stop it. All right. So what is a QR code? Do you know what QR stands for?
I don't actually.
I love this. This is great.
How about quick release?
That's close. Quick response.
Quick response.
Quick response. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I couldn't find like when QR codes really became a thing. Like, and to be fair, I was really looking for other stuff. I wasn't like doing the history of a QR code.
Well.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Keep on going.
All right. So it's been really interesting because QR codes have been around for a hot minute, but I'm starting to see them pop up more and more and more. And I'm having.
Do you mean the QR code system that was invented in 1994 by Masahiro Hara?
Masahiro.
From the Japanese company Denso Wave.
Love those guys. They're great.
Used to be a client of yours, I think.
Yes.
1994.
1994. Okay.
But I don't think they were like on stuff until like the late aughts.
Yeah,
mid alts, something like that.
Yeah, you
People started to put them on business cards.
That I was gonna say that's where they really started popping up. Like the first time I became aware of them, and then when you could go and put the QR scanning code on your smartphone and like hit get deals and like get pricing and stuff like that. That's like kind of when I saw it come around. But then they went away for a little while, right? Like you'd see them on restaurant doors or things like that. Like if you wanted to follow them on Facebook, you could just hit one QR code. But now I'm seeing them in job postings. I'm seeing them on the back of trucks, inviting people to apply by using a QR code. I've got customers and prospects asking us if we support it.
Yep.
And I'd like to dig into like what it is and like, how easy it is for everybody to do this if they actually want to. Like it's a really, really easy thing to do. And a lot of people think it's hard.
Yeah. Let me just pull up something real quick so I get this right.
Okay.
So let's talk about what is in a QR code.
All
so
right.
the main thing is really a link, right? A web URL. And when I say recently, I mean like last few years. You don't have to now download a special QR code app on the iPhone specifically to scan and automatically detect and redirect to wherever the code is. I think when the Android phones first came out, that was kind of native and cool. But Apple, you still had to say, hey, I'm going to now scan a QR code. Hey, do you give permission to your camera? Yes. Okay. And now you can just aim the phone at a QR code and kind of outlines it, because it's always listening, always thinking.
Always.
But I was going to see if there were some other things, the anatomy of a QR code. So version information, format information, data and error correction keys, and the quiet zone. Okay, so there's several static QR code types. There's Wi-Fi codes, Bitcoin codes, plain text, vCard, and email. And then dynamic QR codes can have like App Store, PDF, social media, coupons, and a business page. So it's it's like a multi-dimensional data structure or a complex data structure that it can hold.
Yep.
Even though the most common one is a link of some sort. But yeah, a good QR code app will know how to open the QR code depending on the metadata about what is in the code and what type it is. So for like applying to jobs, one way that this is helpful is that, let's say you were doing advertising, you could embed your source code into your link to apply to the job on the QR code. So as people scanned and then applied, you would automatically know whether they came from LinkedIn or from a billboard or from the side of your work truck or from a coffee news placemat at the deli.
Okay. So for employers, it would be smart for candidate source tracking. And from the employment side, is it from the job seeker side, is it faster than just applying?
It's definitely faster than like Googling the company, clicking on their webpage and finding their careers link, because what it gives you is if you're not at a computer, right? If you're not clicking on the job advertisement, it's a it's a quick way directly to the job application through your phone.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's beneficial to use them if you see them, and you also giving your the people that you're applying to the job with some kind of additional information about how you found them. You know, help them know where their traffic's coming from, so they can make good decisions.
You know, what's interesting is that like when I was looking through and reading, I found an article on Indeed about how to make and use a QR code and all this other stuff. But what I was thinking was how awesome that would be from a candidate perspective to just like drop a resume with a QR code. Like, hey, here you go. Check out my work. Here's my.
So you can do that,
Yeah,
right? Especially
right.
if you have your resume online. It could be your LinkedIn profile.
Your marketing, your website, right? Like your portfolio site, all that good stuff. So
It could be a random site or a specific site that has nothing to do with your resume that you could just use to mess with people. Like, recently, we developed the two-factor authentication at Brightmove, right?
Okay.
So this is where if your ATS doesn't have this, you should really look into your data security and the risk that you have of a breach, right?
Yep.
And this is not an alarmist thing. This is real. Like, this is what happens when you have 20 recruiters and someone's password is babies are cute.
or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
or password.
Yeah.
Right. So the two-factor authentication requires you to have username, password, and an authenticator application. When you set up the authenticator application, the software uses a QR code to sync between the authenticator app and the application, so that when it's sharing sharing keys, depending on the time and the login, that they match up on both sides. Right.
Right.
So, yeah, in the development process, when you scan the QR code to set up the authenticator app, instead of setting it up, one of the developers put an Easter egg in there that took it to like a video on YouTube.
That's so helpful.
And
That's entertaining.
It was an innocent video,
Sure.
but it wasn't what we were trying to do.
So you're
And then it made it into the screenshot of the release notes temporarily in the draft form
Dynamite.
before it went out.
I
So
like it. So like
all
that's
this behind the scenes stuff, man.
So-
Software's fun.
like that's a single sign-on Rickroll